Welcome back to LEGO Wars and Heat G of the series. Last time out we saw a masterclass from King B Cube to go undefeated, while Frenzy and Waffle fought well to make the knockout stages. This week sees the return of fan favourites White Hole back as the 8th seed alongside the surprise package from Series 2, Kato and Emodia, now seeded number 13. Let's see who will face them tonight.
First, from Northampton and seeded number 8, White Hole.
The full-body spinner that everybody has seen before returns after a breakout performance to make the quarterfinals. You have checked and it's definitely white.
From Didcot and seeded number 13, Kato and Emodia.
The fragile pink machine has improved its front wedge to control the fight, providing it stays in one piece.
From Dartford, Detonator.
The green dome has ditched the pole in place of a new spatula-esque setup and could prove to be a surprise package once more.
From California in the USA, Tantrum.
The reigning Battlebots champions at time of recording make their main series debut tonight and are hoping to punch their way through the opposition.
From Blackburn, Talking Toaster.
Would you like any toast? 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 Would you like any?
Where am I?
Oh yeah, it's time for the first fight, and it's the 8th seeds against the giant nut winners Tantrum, so let's get stuck in.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
So we have the number 8 seeds White Hole versus the newcomers Tantrum from the United States of America. Good start there actually by Tantrum coming in and hitting them with their little punching spinner. White Hole spinning up to speed though and chasing Tantrum down for an attack and taking off one of the eyes. Problem with White Hole spinner, as you may have noticed in previous fights, is when it hits a robot it has to stop and then it has to get back up to speed again, which means that whilst it's not spinning, opponents can come in on the attack like that. Tantrum using its face there to good advantage to keep that spinner stopped, keep it at bay. And Tantrum, if they keep up these attacks, could come in with a bit of a surprise here. Now going for the pit release button, and again, and it's not gone down, and damage has now been caused. And I wonder if the pit failing there has screwed them over a little bit, because White Hole was capable of causing some serious damage out of the side. They're trying to bring in that punching fist. The front wedge is also gone as well. White Hole slowly but surely coming back in this. And now the side panels come up as well. And Tantrum, despite starting this fight on the attack and on the aggressive, is slowly but surely being mullered here by White Hole. White Hole backing away into the sidewall. Not great control there from the number 8 seeds. I will admit, you know, White Hole, despite the damage caused to Tantrum, it hasn't been the most impressive of returns this. We've definitely seen them cause more damage in the past, and Tantrum, though, I think are completely died. They have time ticking down for them. Well, that is a shame. What's White Hole doing? They have... I don't even know what happened there. White Hole sort of just drove around a little bit and Tantrum died. Oh, it took a lot of damage as well. White Hole get 3 points either way. That was a shame for Tantrum. They started off well, managing to get White Hole against the arena sidewall, and they did keep that spinner at bay. But look here, they went for the pit button, it failed to release there, and then White Hole did that big hit there and there as well. And that really seemed to be what caused the main damage. Tantrum seemed to just fall apart after that. The front wedge came off. The side panel came completely off, and then they just sort of died there for no reason. White Hole, a little bit lucky you could argue, but a convincing win nonetheless.
So apparently White Hole is so scary it scared the pit into failing. They'll take the 3 points as we move on to our next fight with Kato against Detonator.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
So it's time to see the squash sprout Detonator get even more squash. Goodness me, look at the damage there caused by the axe of Kato Nemoidia, the pink machine whose name is almost impossible to pronounce if you are me. Coming in now on behind Detonator, pushing him along and bringing the axe down. I'll tell you what, that is a very dangerous weapon this time around there on the number 13 seeds. You can see the spinner-proof logo on the back. Detonator have been mullered here. They're getting Nam flashbacks to when they fought Frenzy. Oh, and now the pit's gone down, so it's working in this fight. Yes! Thankfully, we were able to fix it for this battle. Kato Nemoidia's face has managed to stay in place for the entirety of this fight, so that in itself is a minor miracle. Now Detonator pushing them back towards that pit release button, so a good little attack there by Detonator, managing to push them away, keep them at bay. But for me at the moment, it is all down to Kato and Nemoidia. They are the machine with the more effective weapon. That axe has been brilliant so far. Detonator, they haven't even managed to get that lifter underneath. I think the front wedge on Kato and Nemoidia is a little bit too low for them. Down comes Jax again. Look, more damage being done to the chassis there. And this is all Kato and Nemoidia so far. Can Detonator bring this back? I doubt it at the moment. Kato and Nemoidia, it may look like a daft, silly robot, and I know I make jokes about it, but it is a fierce competitor when it wants to be. That axe is awesome. It's got good pushing power, good grippy wheels, 4-wheel drive. Might be one to watch out for in this series of LEGO Wars. A little bit of a love tap there. Trying to bring it back. Detonator now backing a bit towards the pit. And they're on the verge. And it's only a matter of time, surely, until Kato and Nemoidia get them down. I don't know what Detonator's trying to do there with its lifter. It's not going to work either way. They're down the pit. And Kato and Nemoidia secure themselves 3 points. That was a very structured demolition there of Detonator by Kato and Nemoidia. Just kept coming in backwards and forwards, bringing the axe down, then reversing, keeping themselves away from that lifter, causing good damage throughout, using that axe to great advantage. And then they eventually used superior driving to get Detonator towards the pit. A little bit of help from Detonator, it must be said. And then they went down the pit. Well done, Kato.
The Seeds are definitely on form tonight as Kato scores a brilliant KO. Whitehole can make it 2 for 2 in their next fight against Talkie Toaster. Maybe this time we'll finally work out the answer to the immortal question. So what is it?
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Can Whitehole make up for a, not disappointing, but I'd say lackluster start? Oh, definitely there! Taking off one of the front wedges of Talkie Toaster, the newcomers. It looks absolutely fantastic, by the way. Great to see some fun, interesting designs being entered into LEGO Wars this season, but there's bits and pieces going everywhere, goodness me! Now, this is the kind of damage we were expecting from Whitehole in the first fight. This is the kind of performance we were expecting from them. The number 8 seeds, they did struggle in the last fight. They did win via KO. They got 3 points. So there's no slouch there, but it wasn't the most impressive of victories. Now, this is more like it. Talkie Toaster trying to bring that lifting spatula into play. Not really getting any purchase on Whitehole there. Whitehole causing all the damage. Talkie Toaster, though, to their credit, are being very aggressive and actually on the attack here. Look at this. Getting underneath and pushing Whitehole. Could we see a huge upset? Whitehole, the number 8 seeds, last series was their breakout series. After a pretty disappointing first series, last time they managed to make it to the top 8. They caused horrendous damage to many a machine along the way. And they secured themselves as a favourite to win this series because of it. And now, Talkie Toaster hitting the pit release button. And if they can get another good attack like they just did... Oh! Off comes another piece. If they can get another attack in like they just did, though, they could very well have Whitehole down the pit. Or have they been immobilised? No, they are okay. They're still going. More damage being done, though. Whitehole, goodness me! This is the kind of damage we expected to see from the number 8 seeds this series. The front weapon... the front weapon's gone. The sides are gone. The front's gone. Is there anything left? At least the piece of toast at the top of the robot's still okay. How am I supposed to compensate on this? This is what we love about LEGO Wars. It's fun. Oh my goodness me! Talkie Toaster nearly threw themselves down there, and are now using their rear wedge to deflect that spinner, and they're still on the attack. They're still on the offensive, and to be fair, they're still going. What were Whitehole doing there? They drove into the sidewall. Now Talkie Toaster stuck on the arena spikes. More damage being done, but they're still going. They are refusing to die, and you've got to give credit where credit's due there. Whitehole have pretty much pulled them apart, and I'm pretty certain this is going to be a Whitehole victory. But you've got to give it to Talkie Toaster. They haven't died, and they're still coming in on the offensive. This is fantastic. This is what LEGO Wars is about. Fun designs and lots of damage. And we're into the final 5 seconds. Talkie Toaster somehow, someway have not only survived this battle, but have finished on the offensive. And that is all you can ask for. What a fight. That was absolutely brilliant. Whitehole finally waking up after a bit of a disappointing start, causing horrendous damage to Talkie Toaster, ripping off its front, ripping off its weapon, but fair play to Talkie Toaster. They got in a few good attacks here and there, but I don't think it was enough. Just absolutely pummeled. But they kept going, and at the end of the day, that's all we could really ask of them. Oh dear. Don't think it's going to be too difficult for the judges, though, this one.
And the winner, by unanimous decision, is Whitehole. I know what it was. It was Toaster side. Whitehole has spread bits of toaster all over the arena to move closer to the round of 32. Hopefully there's no debris left for Tantrum and Detonator, who are up next.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Both these machines have a lot to play for here. They're currently both sitting at 0 points after each suffering a KO loss in the first round of this heat. Tantrum, so far on top for me. That spin has caused a little bit of damage to Detonator. They're on the aggressive, although Detonator now pushing them back towards the side wall, trying to get that lifting spatula into play. Didn't work there, though. That spatula, I think it's a little bit too slow, and it seems to struggle to get underneath things. More damage being done now by the spinner of Tantrum, and again! Tantrum was very aggressive and very good in the first round. They were unlucky to lose, in my opinion. Sure, they took a lot of damage, but they were on the aggressive throughout. But they're currently now peeling apart the squashed Brussels sprout that is Detonator. I'm never not going to call it that, am I? Now, Detonator, getting that lifter underneath the spinner. That was good tactics, using their lifter to try and block that spinner there. Tantrum coming in for a side-on assault. Now pushing Detonator into the pit button. Down goes the pit. So they're confident they can get Detonator down into that pit. And I think a good push here will have them in. Oh! Detonator digging in now and pushing back. Oh, goodness me! Very, very close. But Detonator holding on. Are they? Yes! Just managing to hold out. Tantrum, meanwhile, have stopped. Now they're okay. I thought Tantrum would die then for a second. That would have been dismal if they had died again. Bringing in that spinner. That spinner, it's effective, but it seems to, as the fight gets on, struggle. We haven't seen much punching from it either, have we, really? Another hit there from Tantrum onto the side of Detonator. Detonator, look at the huge hole in the side of it. Deary, deary me. Bits of it littering the arena, of course. Another bit fell off there as it backed away from Tantrum. And I think that seems to have got underneath them, actually. It seems to have wedged their wheels off the ground. And Tantrum with a push and a shove. And it's only a matter of time, surely, until Detonator gets sent into the abyss. Any second now. What are they doing? Come on, Tantrum. There we go. Down go Detonator. Another KO loss there for Detonator. That is a shame. But Tantrum finally making up for that unfortunate loss earlier. Using that spinner to cause good damage throughout. They were aggressive constantly. They didn't really let Detonator have a rest, to be honest. They kept coming in. More damage done there. Look, bits and pieces littering the arena as the fight went on. They nearly had Detonator down the pit here. Detonator somehow survived. I don't know how they did that, to be fair. But then they eventually, something went wrong. They couldn't get away. And Detonator was sent down into the depths.
A much better showing from the Orange Boys to move them joint second while Detonator looks in trouble. The patched up Talkie Toaster is back in action now against the Pink Peril Cato.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
I'm not too sure how well Talkie Toaster will work in this fight. They took a lot of damage in the last round, although they seem to be okay. Getting underneath the front of Cato Nemoidia and lifting it off the ground. Oh, but the toast has been the toast has been chopped up by the axe of Cato Nemoidia. And they're bringing the axe down on top. How many hits was that? About 10, 11? If not more. Cato Nemoidia now coming in on a side-on assault, bringing the axe down again and causing damage to the top of Talkie Toaster. Good fight this so far, both these machines. Fun, interesting designs. Talkie Toaster got that lifter in underneath very early on. Cato Nemoidia's back panel fell off earlier, courtesy of its own axe swinging backwards. I'm not too sure if that's a very well-designed machine because of that, but well, whatever floats their boat, I'm sure. Good tactics there by Talkie Toaster, going for the pit button. Down goes the pit. If they can get underneath Cato again, they can get them towards that pit, actually. It is an effective weapon, that lifting spatula. That's twice now they managed to get underneath another machine and lift it off the ground. Something came off of Cato Nemoidia though. I think this is the back panel again. Don't worry, ignore me. Look at the toast on the top of Talkie Toaster. Oh, dearie me. Where's the egg? We've got the soldiers. Now comes the axe once again of Kato Nemoidia. Something came off a Talkie Toaster again there. For me, personally, I'd say Kato's just on top here. They've been the more aggressive. They've got a more damaging weapon. And Talkie Toaster, despite that opening lift, to be fair, seems to have been a bit of a target for that axe the rest of this fight. It is the perfect shape for that axe to hit, to be honest. Now turning away, trying to avoid the pit, of course. Kato Nemoidia, number 13 seeds. They've got a lot to prove here. They were a surprise package in the last series of LEGO Wars. And they're hoping to prove themselves that it wasn't just a fluke this time around. So, can they get Talkie Toaster in that pit? Talkie Toaster on the verge. They are flirting with death. Something else has come off of them. Oh, what's Kato doing? Oh, for a minute, I thought they were going to throw themselves down the pit. But they were able to stop themselves. And now trying to get Talkie into the pit. Can they get Talkie down? They're on the verge, surely. Oh, goodness me. Fair play there to Talkie Toaster, managing to get out of danger's way. That was good evasive driving there. Very impressive. Can Kato finish them off here, or will this one go to the judges? Talkie on the spikes, getting away from the spikes though. Now pushing back, or are they? Kato, for me, are on top of this one, but again, you've got to give credit to Talkie. They haven't died. They've kept on coming back for more. Down comes the axe once again. More damage under that piece of toast on the top of the machine. Oh, it is really a fun design, isn't it? They both are, to be fair. Kato bringing the axe down, but missing. That was bad control. Good driving by Talkie to get away from the axe there. Bringing the axe down again, though. We're in the final 8 seconds. This is going to go to the judges. I think this one may be a Kato victory, but I could be wrong. As cease is called. Both machines perform well there. Good little fight, that one. Very close. What? Hang on. Hey, what are you doing? Leave our sidewall alone. So for me, I think Kato was a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more damaging throughout. This was a good start for Talkie Toaster. Kato bringing the axe down and destroying the piece of toast. But apart from that opening lift, I must admit the majority of the fight was Kato pummeling them with the axe, really. And slowly but surely, more and more bits of damage were done. I thought Talkie Toaster were going to go down the pit at this point, but they were able to stay out of the way of it. Down came the axe once again. Yeah, for me, this has got to be a Kato victory.
And the winner, by unanimous decision, is Kato Nemoidia. With some lovely soldiers made out of the toast, Kato joins White Hole on 5 points at the top. Now it's crunch time for Detonator to get some points on the board against the 8 seeds. Dustpan and Brush on yellow alert.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
So I think the question here is Detonator going to be swept out of the arena, or is it going to be carried out of the arena? Oh, well! Managing to deflect that hit first off there by White Hole. Good work there by Detonator. White Hole, I don't think it managed to get up to speed just yet. Now backing away so they can get that spinner up to its top speed, and doing so. Coming in now for attack on Detonator, but Detonator deflecting it well, and White Hole driving into the side wall. That was bad control by the number 8 seeds. The favourites to win this battle and this heat because of that high seeding. They made it to the top 8 last year, don't forget. They did a lot of damage and destroyed a lot of robots on the way, but I tell you what, Detonator not letting them cause that kind of damage here. They're deflecting every hit, and now they've managed to get underneath White Hole and lifting it into the air. Where's this come from? Where on earth is this coming? That's the first time we've ever seen that lifting spatula there used effectively. It didn't manage to flip White Hole, but it did manage to get underneath it and lift it and control it for a short period. Detonator on the attack as well. Now going for the pit button, but missed. White Hole wisely getting away from that pit square. Detonator going for the pit button again and has released it. Could White Hole go down the pit here? They're on the edge. Oh, goodness me. I thought Detonator was going to go down the pit there, but they managed to survive. White Hole avoiding the pit also. And now getting away from the pit completely. So that was good driving there by the number 8 seeds. But they really do have to get that spinner working now and cause some effective damage, because at this rate they could well lose this one. Detonator somehow, some way, have survived all the hits and are on the aggressive and are in control, if you ask me. Good hit there though by White Hole, but again, no damage done. They need to cause damage, and Detonator using that front lifting spatula has a good effect. That was terrible driving there by White Hole, driving into the side wall and stopping their own spinner. That will give Detonator a chance, surely. Oh, what is Detonator doing? And what are Whitehall doing? Both machines flirting with danger. Are we about to see a huge surprise? Our Detonator about to secure a KO victory against the number 8 seeds Whitehall? No! Whitehall just getting away, my goodness. And the team can breathe a sigh of relief. But I tell you what, Detonator are turning a lot of heads at the minute. I cannot believe this. Underneath Whitehall again. They weren't able to lift them on that attempt, but they're definitely in control at the moment. Whitehall once again being lifted up now and being pinned into the side wall and into that corner. Detonator nearly threw itself down the pit again, but was able to get away. That's good driving. Now backing away. Whitehall backing out of that corner once again, trying to bring that spinner up to speed. But for me, Detonator are well on top here. Whitehall will have to do something. They've got 9 seconds to do it! And in one huge hit at the end, have managed to do serious damage to Detonator. But is it enough?
6.
Cease called. Oh my goodness me, I think we could be about to see one of the biggest upsets of the series so far. What on earth was that about? Detonator somehow, someway managing to deflect all the hits that Whitehall could give it. Somehow not taking any damage and even managing to go on the offensive, be in control, be on the aggressive as well. Managed to get underneath Whitehall several times. Nearly went down the pit there, but they held their own. Whitehall was well driven to get away as well. Both nearly went down the pit there, but they managed to stop themselves. I honestly thought Detonator had it here. Was this bit of damage enough at the end, or did Detonator do enough throughout the fight?
And the winner by split decision is Detonator. A sublime performance from the Green Dome to give them a fighting chance of progressing. Next up is Cato Nemodia against Tantrum.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
So, number 13 seeds Cato Nemodia versus Tantrum, the newcomers. That spinner not doing much damage on the first assault there. Down comes the axe of Cato Nemodia. It's a very precise weapon, that one. And look at that, manages to avoid the spinner and bring down that axe on top. Some damage done to the top there of Tantrum. Tantrum running away now. Backing comes that axe. Tantrum backing up to try and get that spinner back into play again. Cato's managed to knock its own arse off again. Fantastic stuff. Now coming in on the wheels there. Silent assault by Tantrum. No real damage done there though. For me, Cato are on top at the moment, but it is still the early stages of the fight. Down comes the axe again. Oh, goodness me, what's happened there to the face of Cato Nemodia, though? I think part of that face got smashed off there or something. Something definitely happened. Look at the eyes jiggling around. Tantrum now, backing away. Is that spinner still working? Yes, up to speed it goes. Are we going to see some more damage being done? Good use there of the axe, though, by Cato Nemodia, using it to stop that spinner. It's a very good tactic. And now one of its side panels has come loose. I tell you what, they're taking a lot of damage in this fight, but I think all of it's been done by themselves. This robot destroys itself. Only on LEGO Wars, eh? Now bringing the axe in again. Definitely the more aggressive machine, isn't it, Cato Nemodia, the number 13 seeds. Like I said, desperate to prove that last year's run wasn't a fluke. And I'll tell you what, they've done it so far, if you ask me. That weapon has been fantastic. They've gained quite a few points in this heat so far, and I wouldn't be surprised they were going to make it through to the round of 32 later on in this series, you know. In comes that spinner once again of Tantrum. Trying to bring the damage in. Cato's face is kind of hindering it, really, because it's come loose. And now, as you can see, 2 of the wheels at the front of the machine have been raised off the floor. So that will worry their traction, it will worry their speed. Down comes the axe again. They've caused a lot of damage out of the top of Tantrum. Brilliant work. For me, this has all been Cato, although the damage really isn't in their favour. Is Tantrum okay, though, or has it died a death? No, it is just moving. Just. I'm not too sure. Down comes the axe once again of Cato. Tantrum backing away, so they have definitely got some life left in them. Trying to bring that spinner back into play, although it's not really doing much at the moment. Cato now pinning them against the arena sidewall, pushing them into that corner. Down comes the axe again. Cato Nemodia for me on top definitely now. Tantrum really do have to try and bring this one back if they hope to get any points, or at least get a 2-point from a judge's decision if it does go to the judges. I think it will do at this rate, because neither machine really looks like it's about to give up just yet, although Tantrum is slowly but surely starting to slow down. But we are into the final 10 seconds, so it is going to go to the judges. A little bit more damage done there by Tantrum towards the end of the fight, but for me, Cato were definitely the more aggressive. Cease is called. That's going to be a difficult one to judge for the judges. Let's have a look at the highlights and see who won up. The pit's gone down. Great. So like I said, I think Kato overall were definitely the more aggressive. They were constantly on the attack, bringing the fight to Tantrum. And that axe of theirs is a very aggressive weapon. Constantly swinging backwards and forwards, constantly hitting Tantrum. Yes, the face got damaged. Yes, the side panel came up, but that was all really damage done by Kato itself. Meanwhile, Kato was able to cause serious damage to the top panels of Tantrum and gave them a big headache. This is a difficult one for the judges.
And the winner by unanimous decision is Kato Pneumonia. A second JD win for the pink machine is definitely showing a trend for the non-spinners pulling off the upset. Now it's the bottom two machines, Talkie Toaster and Detonator, to take to the arena, knowing that the wrong result could eliminate them both.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
So it's a battle of the two lifting spatulas and Whitehole's two biggest enemies, I guess. They've both managed to withstand the pressure dealt to them by Whitehole throughout the heat. Anyway, Talkie Toaster underneath Detonator, lifting them into the air. Can they get them toppled over? Can they use this to their advantage and topple them? They're trying, but no. Detonator able to get down, get away. Now can they try and get underneath Talkie Toaster? Maybe get a little lift back in, get some revenge. Talkie Toaster backing up, trying to get their spatula back into play. Detonator pushing Talkie Toaster into the pit release button, so down goes the pit. Little bit tedious this fight at the moment. Good little lift there though by Detonator. Trying to get them maybe towards that pit. Talkie Toaster certainly thinking about it, getting underneath Detonator, but not able to lift them on that attempt. Can they get underneath them and lift them this time? No. Detonator able to get away from that lifting front, being rammed into the side wall now though. Talkie Toaster backing away. Maybe trying to get a better angle of attack. And they have seemed to do so. They managed to get underneath Detonator there. Detonator be lifted off the floor once again. The wheels off the ground now. Can Talkie Toaster take advantage of this? No. Once again dropping them. Detonator backing away themselves now. A little bit tedious this fight, isn't it? It's a little bit, a little bit rinse and repeat, really. Both machines giving each other a little bit of a lift and a tickle. Now Talkie Toaster! Very nearly pushed into the pit there by Detonator. Now what are they doing? I thought they were going to throw themselves in. They nearly drove themselves in there. What on earth were they doing? Now they're trying to back away. Detonator trying to stop them from doing so, though. Almost holding them in place. Now Talkie Toaster getting away. It's not the quickest of machines, is it, Talkie Toaster? Both in drive and weaponry. Detonator also suffers from the same issues, and the result is, this, really. Two robots plodding around and trying to beat each other. Good little push there, though, by Detonator. That was over half the arena. Oh, damage done there, though, to Detonator, and bad control, driving onto the arena spikes. Talkie Toaster took advantage of that, came in for another attack, and managed to get underneath Detonator. I'm not really too sure what they can do once they've lifted the robot in the air, you know. They seem to get underneath them, but then they can't do anything with them. They don't seem to have the power to push them across the arena after doing that. And that means that weapon of theirs is quite frankly useless. Because it doesn't really aid them in battle. It just sort of means they hold a robot in the air for a few moments. Although Detonator seems to be stuck on its own piece of armour here, so who knows? They're okay. Getting away from it now, managing to wiggle themselves free. This hasn't been the most intense of fights, has it, being honest? Oh, Talkie Toaster nearly throwing himself down the pit again, but backing away. I'm not too sure what the judges think of their control in this fight, to be honest. It's been pretty dismal, if you ask me. Though we are into the final 10 seconds, so unless something happens very soon, it is going to go to the judges. Talkie Toaster trying to bait Detonator. It's not going to work. Cease called. And that was a very, very slow fight. Oh! A little bit of a late contact there from Talkie. Well, I never. For me, Talkie Toaster's weapon, whilst it was effective at lifting, it didn't really aid them in the battle at all because they couldn't do anything once they got a hold of them. Then again, Detonator's weapon didn't really do much either. Good aggression and good pushing there, managing to get Talkie into the pit button and lift it off the ground. Good push here once again from Detonator as well. But I think Talkie Toaster got more weapon use out, and there is the damage to be considered as well. That was a very interesting fight, for all the wrong reasons.
And the winner, by unanimous decision, is Talkie Toaster. That fight will always be regarded as one of the fights of all time, apparently. That JD loss, though, takes Detonator out contention, while Talkie Toaster can take third if they beat Tantrum in the next fight.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
Now this battle is actually quite fitting, believe it or not, because whenever I make toast with my toaster, it makes me have a tantrum. Don't ask me why. Tantrum causing damage early on in this fight, managed to rip off one of those side panels, so the spinner is actually being effective in this fight. Talkie Toaster seems to be a lot quicker in this battle. Now apparently the reason why it was so slow in the last one is because the batteries weren't fully charged. So to make up for that, they've recharged the batteries, giving it a much quicker bit of speed, and we're certainly seeing it in this fight. So will we see a little bit more of an effective push from them now? Will we see a little bit more of an effective attack with that lifter? They have lost a lot of pieces of armour at the moment, most of them superficial, yes, but hey, damage is damage at the end of the day, and that's what the judges are looking for. Is Tantrum going to go for the pit button? Yes, and they release it perfectly. So they're going to try and get Talkie Toaster into that pit. Can Talkie push back? Yes, by the evidence of that. So they obviously have managed to do some sort of improvements in the pits between those fights to make sure that they can push, and they have got a lot more speed now. Onto the arena spikes again though. Talkie Toaster backing away from them though, now coming in on the attack. In comes that big spinner again of Tantrum. Tantrum would have to be the favourite in this fight, although very close to the pit, but they were able to get away. Good arena presence, good driving there by the Tantrum team from the United States of America, current BattleBots champions, don't forget. Although we're not too sure how well its design goes into Lego form. The spinner certainly works. The punching fist needs work, it must be said. But they have been effective in this heat for several of their fights, and they're trying to now cause more damage to Talkie Toaster. Talkie Toaster's lifting their lifter up into the air. Not too sure why they're trying to do that. They haven't got underneath Tantrum yet. Now trying to get underneath the Tantrum, but not able to. Tantrum backing into the sidewall. Now underneath Tantrum, but Tantrum were able to get away. They were a little bit too slow. That weapon of theirs could be a little bit quicker. They might be in with a chance in this series. Sort of. They might win a few fights. Talkie Toaster underneath now, getting a lift in. And Tantrum being pried off the floor. Can Talkie Toaster take advantage of this situation? Or will this be another case of them not being able to do anything? I think that is indeed the situation. Tantrum trying to punch them with their fist, but to no avail, really. Now coming, are they stuck on the floor, Tantrum? I think they are. They can't get over that bit of the arena. So Talkie Toaster could use this to their advantage here and get some more points if it goes to a judge's decision. I think it will do at this rate. Neither machine really showing any sign of giving up the ghost, and neither machine really has done enough to really warrant the other being KO'd, to be fair. So unless one of these machines just decides to die on its own accord, this one is most likely going to go to the judges. They've been busy bees tonight, the judges. This will be, I think, the 5th judge's decision of the fight, of the heat. Down goes the count. We're into the final 5 seconds. So it is going to go to the judges again.
6.
And I'll be honest, I have no idea how they're going to call this. That was a very, very close fight overall. So damage, I believe, was definitely won by Tantrum. They managed to use that spinner to good effect, taking off bits of armour here and there. Although I must admit, not as much damage as I thought would be was dealt by them. They weren't able to get all the hits in they wanted to, and I must admit the punching feature on that spinner hasn't been as great as we hoped. And Talkie Toaster were very aggressive and controlled throughout, using good pushing power, good lifting power as well. Not too sure if it was enough to sway the judges' vote. This is a tough one. We'll see what they said in a second.
And the winner by unanimous decision is Tantrum. And after yet another judge's decision, it's the giant winners that are through to the round of 32 and gives us a bizarre statistic that every robot tonight has had a win via the judges. I wonder if we'll need them in our final fight tonight as the Steeds face off against one another for the overall winner. Let's see if Kato's defences can hold up one more time.
Roboteers, stand by. 3, 2, 1, activate.
So it's the final battle of the heat, and as usual, our 2 seeded machines will duke it out. Whitehole seeded 8th versus Kato Nemoidia seeded 13th. Whitehole with that very dangerous spinner. Although I must admit, it hasn't been as deadly as it was last time around this heat. Meanwhile, Kato Nemoidia's axe certainly has been a surprise package in this heat thus far. Although they've caused more damage to themselves, it must be said. Oh no, look now! A piece of Whitehole falling out the bottom of the robot. Now is that superficial damage? Is that terminal damage? I'm not too sure what part of Whitehole that came from. Going for the pit release button now, but it's not working. Oh goodness me, Whitehole spinner. They must have caused some damage to Kato Nemoidia's side because that's fallen off. Whitehole trying their best to get that spinner up to speed. Kato Nemoidia driving towards the sidewall, trying to bring that front wedge face of theirs in. It is a very effective spinner deflector, isn't it? Certainly has been in this fight anyway. Whitehall would be the favourites to win this because of their higher seeding, but I tell you what, Kato Nemoidia has been a fantastic performer in this heat. That axe has been fantastic. It's got in very good attacks, and I tell you what, that front face of theirs has been a very, very helpful ally this time around. Usually it gets in the way, but this time around it has helped them until then. Look, damage being caused to it. Now both these machines have weighed enough points to make it through to the top 32, so there's no worries there. But remember, the more points you have in your heat, the higher seeding you get in the seeding bracket for the round of 32. So don't forget that. Is Kato Nemoidia doing enough damage here at this point? They certainly have received a lot of damage here. That's the thing with Whitehall, because its whole shell is the weapon, you can't really damage it, although they did manage to take something out of it earlier. It doesn't seem to have affected it too greatly. Look there now, Kato Nemoidia's face has been completely stoved in. Well, it was an effective defense while it lasted, but Whitehall now slowly but surely managing to rip pieces away from Kato Nemoidia. Kato Nemoidia, though, still moving, still being on the aggressive. They're still trying. I think they're going to aim for a judge's win here. Oh, bits of its face now raising it off the floor, but they're able to get off of them. Look at that. They're tripping over the bits of their own body. Oh dear. Whitehall now trying to get that spinner of theirs back up to speed again. The damage certainly has been excessive in this fight, but Kato Nemoidia managing to survive the damage at the moment and are still trying desperately to get those urgently needed points. I'm not too sure if they're going to do it. We're into the final 10 seconds. It is going to go to the judges, and Whitehall have now been beached onto a piece of Kato Nemoidia, and that means they can get a good few shots in at the end of the fight. Was that enough to bring it their way, or does Whitehall done enough damage? What a fight that was. Great final. What an end to the heat that was. Kato Nemoidia definitely were aggressive. The pit button once again failing. Of course it did. It's Lego Wars. What do you expect? Damage was done to Whitehall courtesy of that axe of Kato Nemoidia. Good defense as well. But eventually, as the fight went on, Whitehall were able to bring in their big spinner and cause more and more damage as that fight went on. And I'm just wondering if the damage is enough here to swing it for them. It might just be. But at the end of the day, I'm not too sure. We'll have to see what the judges say.
And the winner, by unanimous decision, is Whitehall. And so, after one of the fights of the season so far, it's Whitehall who scraped through to win the heat. It's been another exciting night of action with the longest run of judges' decisions yet, as Tantrum, Kato Nemoidia and the heat winners Whitehall march on to the round of 32. That's all for tonight, and indeed for a few weeks, as I'm predisposed at an undisclosed location. Anyway, we'll be back on November 4th with Heat H, and trust me, you don't want to miss it, so make sure you're subscribed and have notifications on for when we're back. For now though, I've been your host David and Smeg, and we'll see you in the next one.
It's lost. Oh, could you help it? Back. Same recording. Still recording.